Sunday mornings are for champions. 4 teams are 2 matches away from immortality and a final berth to the AVP League. The AVP Heritage Series Manhattan Beach Open concludes today. An Olympic men's semifinal will get us started from Paris to the pier for Chase Budinger, Miles Evans, and Andy Benesh and Miles Partain. This is the men's semifinal as Manhattan Beach has shown up early. For this one, we're about to get started on our championship Sunday. Welcome inside once again, everybody. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic gold medalist and beach coach Rich Lamborn. Rich, both of these teams have had a very quick turnaround from that Olympic experience. How do you think that will affect today's match?
Yeah, well, they seem to have both dealt with it very well thus far in the tournament, which is encouraging. Interesting to see them show down against one another here in the semifinals, and very important for both of them because, like you mentioned, a spot in the league is at stake if you end up winning this tournament, and neither of these teams in that sort of run up to the Olympics were able to participate in Huntington. So this is going to be their first finish, a very important one.
Yeah, an opportunity for you to see the best that the United States had to offer the world in this Olympic Games. We are just about to get started. Mark Sherman is down on the sand. He'll give you the player introductions and we'll carry you through this semifinal. We're going to find out who gets a spot in the championship coming up next. And I wonder for these teams how much the AVP had figured in their plans, or if they'd even mentally got to this point. We will see. All right, let's go to the sand. Mark Sherman and Manhattan Beach getting alive on a Sunday.
Oh, we are all set, aren't we? Yes, we are. Our first match. These are the men's semifinals. Ladies and gentlemen, so much is happening right now. This is the Manhattan Beach Open. This is a shot to get to the league. These are 4 Olympians playing right now, which is why I have this ridiculous Olympic mascot hat on. I just couldn't help myself. Manhattan Beach, y'all ready for match number 1? Yes, let's do it. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. These 4 Olympians, you watch them proudly compete at the Olympic Games in Paris, and now they are here looking for a spot in the league, looking to get their names on the Manhattan Beach Pier. Getting final words from Lay, but let's get him out there, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. This first guy coming out of Santa Barbara, California. He's got a crew in the crowd today. He is Mr. Santa Barbara, the guy you want to hang out with on and off the court. Let me hear it for Miles Evans. And his partner from beautiful Encinitas, California. He was a volleyball player, a basketball player, an NBA player, ladies and gentlemen, and now an Olympic beach volleyball player. He flies high and slams it down. Let me hear it for Seabud, Chase Budinger. And their opponents also in Paris at the Olympic Games. Boy, about 6 years ago, he came to the beach, the big guy, and he just kept getting better and better and better. One of the best in the world, ladies and gentlemen, out of Rancho Palos Verdes, California. He gets locked in, then he unleashes that big old smile. Let's see it now. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Andy Benesh. And his partner, ladies and gentlemen. He does things that like nobody else can do. He does things in a way that nobody else even thought of. He does volleyball his way. And we are so thankful because it is so much fun to watch. Let me hear it for the kid out of Pacific Palisades. He is Miles Partain.
Each of these teams returning from their Olympic journey to home sand in their comfort zone here in the South Bay, and Manhattan Beach, the home for so many of the Olympic beach volleyball participants across the years.
Yeah, Interesting task in front of both of these teams, right? I mean, the Olympic was such a big focus, understandably so. That is in the rearview mirror for the time being, however. And the task at hand is, can we get our names on the pier? And just as importantly, can we get a spot directly into the league for the rest of the fall?
Right, the AVP League going to be running from September through November. A lot of work yet to be done by both these teams. Immediately, it's a little on-2 effort from Miles Evans, who he picks up a block. That's the way to start if you're the defender.
It'll be an option-heavy match, one would think. Chase and Miles going straight to the option right out of the gate, and we know that that's a big part of the game of Andy Benesh, Miles Partain as well.
Evans working on Benesh for the moment. That'll be a high ball to the big man. It's back-to-back blocks, one by each partner.
Chase finally catching up in the blocking category with his partner Miles.
These teams have met a number of times over the last couple of seasons. Miles and Andy, that would be Benesh and Partain with the decided advantage. That ball is spiked wide, and the advantage is now 3-0. Nice opener for Budinger and Evans. Record is 4-1 over the last year. In fact, this is their first meeting this year between the American pairs. Short serve in front of Andy Benesh puts him off balance again. A lot of open space down the line, and chasing Evans can't pick it up.
A really crisp shot from Benesh. Had to be almost on that sideline to evade the diving Miles Evans. Something interesting to watch, Kev, is going to be the serve receive on the side of Benesh and Partain. So critical to their option offense. They really go high with it, which makes it a little bit more squirrely, I think, at times.
Well, it might be better right now. A little bit less wind in the morning than there will be this afternoon for our finals. Of course, it'll be live on ION TV. Glad you're joining us now for our semi-final. We have one match inside stadium, the other match outside on court 1. That ball is too high, too far, redirected. And another point, 5-1 open. Is it timeout time already for Benesh and Partain?
And Miles.
Could be, but again, you see how, I mean, that's a great serve from Budinger, don't get me wrong, but Benesh trying to go extra high with that just puts a little too much mustard on the dog.
Chase locates that ball on Miles Partain. Jump set in a little tempo, and it's in again. Chase Budinger is in the zone.
It's 6-1.
If you're Budinger and Evans, you're pretty pleased with this start, Kevin.
6-1 to the side change with 3 blocks.
That would be, I would think, the much less deceptive version of the option when Andy Benesh is going after the second ball.
A service to follow it up 7-1, and it has to be timeout time now, and indeed it is. Benesh and Partain, who have not dropped a set in this tournament, have gotten off to their worst start, and it's been really because of the plays of Budinger and Evans.
Yeah, they've played extremely well, of course, defensively. A couple blocks already, one at least for both partners, but that serve has really set them up for that success defensively. Both Miles and Chase serving bombs. Coach Dan Wayner with them in the Olympic Games, of course.
When these teams have met previously, Evans has had his offensive struggles, hitting between 100 and 0 in many cases. Benesh had 6 blocks alone in the Atlanta Gold Series final last year. And that was a 21-13, 21-13 victory for Benesh and Partain. A look at our AVP League schedule. Remember, that is what's on the line. Not only getting your name on the pier, but also putting your name directly into the league. You will be one of the top seeds headed to one of the cities that we will be visiting with the league. Los Angeles, California will be our opener on September 14th and 15th. And it will be our close after 8 regular season weekends. We will once again return to LA for the championship November 9 and 10. Teams will be placed onto one of our franchises: Palm Beach Passion, the Dallas Dream, the Brooklyn Blaze. So many things yet to be determined with the league. Who's in and where are they going to play? I'll have venue and ticketing information for you next week, as that ball out of the timeout is hit long. So the good news is all that blocking in previous matchups, Chase has had a hard time slowing down Miles or Andy. And so far here, he's done it excellently. Short serve, well executed by Evans. Pardon me, by Partain. We got a couple of Miles. When was the last time we had Miles v. Miles?
It's been a while. That was a tremendous short serve from Partain, however.
Short again, this time in front of Budinger. He overpasses. Option taken. 7-4, just like that.
I mean, we talk a lot about the athleticism of Budinger, too. He is not short on foot speed, still having a little bit of difficulty catching up to that short serve. That's how precise it is from Partain right now.
Chase Budinger, a 7-year NBA career, covering 4 teams. Injuries and burnout had him leaving the league and returning to his roots as a volleyball athlete. Chase checks out and gets stuffed by Benesh. These two have been pretty equal. Chase and Andy doing battle here throughout this tournament. Coming in, Chase had 15 blocks, Andy was 16.
I think we would say at this point that the timeout at 7-1 worked for Partain and Benesh.
Yeah, 7-5, and the short service working. Option taken on the other side. So a little bit of gamesmanship, playing your own style of volleyball against you if you're Miles and Chase.
Yeah, it is kind of the way the game is going these days, right? Obviously, with the Swedish duo winning the gold medal, they really set the standard in that option play.
The Swedish duo, not to be confused with the Swedish Supergroup. 8-6.
Nor the Swedish House Mafia.
By the way, real quick update from the outer court of
True story.
All
right, so much different side change here. 8-6 from 7-1 to 8-6. It's been a little bit of a run fest to start. Manhattan Beach showing up early. Look how packed the stands are here already. Fans standing room only. As Chase cuts that one down. It is before 10 o'clock. Everyone recovering from their Saturday evening quite quickly to establish their position in stadium. Budinger on to Benesh. Well, that was kind of a delayed jump, maybe swing onto the set.
Yeah, he does really disguise it well. It kind of takes that deep dish. And we know that Partain can hit that second ball from just about anywhere.
Andy Benesh has had quite the rise, coming from a middle blocker position in college, dedicating himself to playing on the beach. Smoothly done by Chase Budinger.
Be interesting to see if and when Partain switches up his serving tactic, because he got some traction early with those great short serves. When they aren't as precise, it turns into a relatively easy side out.
Late cut picked up. Evans in transition. Oh, you don't see that too often, do you? Touch to hand set.
That is fantastic stuff and great confidence displayed by Andy Benesh, going right to the hands.
Yeah, that was next level stuff. Think about middles with great hands. The one name that always comes to mind is Jeff Nygaard, who made that transition from middle blocker internationally to beach athlete. That ball is too tight, and Evans cannot save it.
And Kevin, who would have thought at 7-1 down we would see Benesh and Partain back to within 1 before the technical timeout?
Well, they came out of that timeout. Whatever was said in that timeout by Chris Vu must have been exceptional. Chase is like that line early on. Now 11-9. Now 36 years old, out of Encinitas. One-time high school player of the year, best recruit in all the land in the sport of volleyball as a high school senior. Chose basketball, had offers to go to USC or UCLA and play both sports. Instead opted for Arizona and a basketball experience. Benesh with the reach puts it away, and you heard Rich Lamborn mention it. We were at 7-1 at one point. Budinger Evans up. Now they lead by just one at the technical timeout.
Benesh, Partain, good rebound.
That was happening way up there.
We're starting this baby out early because we've already seen some incredible blocks if you were watching the Olympics.
This is an Olympic matchup. Both teams in Paris, and both teams perhaps not getting the finish that they wanted. Of course, everyone wants a medal. It was a 5th place finish for Andy Benesh and Miles Partain. On the other side for Chase Budinger and Miles Evans. They went through the lucky losers, managed to qualify for the knockout round, found themselves with a 9th place finish. But it was an incredible experience for the two men, as it is for anyone, to get the opportunity to represent Team USA.
Yeah, first of all, that's a fantastic looking outfit.
Regal.
Regal, I like that it looks a little bit more comfortable. They're in jeans, the great blazer and all that stuff. There's another great look. Eiffel Tower in the background, just looking over the beach volleyball stadium, which was one of the more stunning venues we've ever seen, I think.
An Olympics that the world was ready for, and the atmosphere absolutely electric, no matter what event you were at.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great sort of bounce back from the Tokyo Games where there weren't allowed to be fans and so forth. And so, yeah, that whole experience, just as a viewer, looked amazing. I'm sure it was no doubt amazing for these 4 gentlemen being there.
We're expecting a bounce back, too, for the AVP as the league takes shape in the fall. Is out of the technical timeout. Budinger and Evans with a smooth side out option to Miles Evans out of Santa Barbara. Attended UC Santa Barbara, the 6'4", one-time indoor athlete. Miles to Miles. Partain through the block and down. Miles Partain was starring at UCLA at the setter position before deciding to focus on beach once the partnership with Andy Benesh came around. I think a lot of people were very excited about that partnership and felt like that was the U.S.'s best chance at a medal.
Well, yeah, and they certainly put up some good results to heighten that excitement early on, winning Stade, taking out the Volley Vikings to bookend that victory. First match of pool play, I should say, and in the final. There's a nice play in transition from the duo. Great pickup. Miles Partain in the backcourt.
Yeah, it's Stade victory coming last year. Of course, victory on the AVP as well.
What do you get for a Stade victory? More cowbell.
Of course you do. If only super producer Bruce Dickinson was there to award it. Partain with a perfect position and transition.
Fantastic, fantastic play. Just great patience on the side of Andy and Miles as well. Fighting off that slow start, and here they are ahead just past the midway point.
They've run roughshod through the field. 2 sets is all it has taken for their previous 4 matches. Their most recent victory over Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander, the reigning champions. 21-16, 27-25. Rolled, and there's Partain again. He has a beat on the defense and the offense to go with it.
Yeah, he just manages to find angles that don't seem to quite exist. It looked like Chase was all over that angle. He just manages to find a sliver underneath and put that ball away. But I really liked the timing of his defensive run. Didn't give away his position too early, and then was able to kind of scurry in, pick up that line shot from Budinger for the point.
So it was 7-1. The other direction now 14-12. Benesh and Partain. We had mentioned the plays, the quality of plays early on from Budinger and Evans, and now it seems to have gone the other way with the quality of contact, read, and execution on the other side.
Well, yeah, you tell me what you think, Kevin. I always felt like when you get in a big hole, you have to try and convince yourself that, hey, if they can do this to us, we can do this to them. And that seems to have worked for Andy and Miles. They seem to have adequately convinced themselves that that's possible and gone on this 13-5 run.
So here's what's at stake. Not only being in bronze and, of course, an NBA Open victory, but you're going to get into the league. Taylor Crabb, Taylor Sander, they won Huntington Beach, the Heritage event earlier this year. They are in. You get in one of 2 ways. You have a victory on a Sunday, and you're in. Or you have excellent finishes throughout the 3 league events. You take 2 of those to get yourself in on points. We're going to see some interesting movement here throughout as to who is in the league. And one of these teams may punch themselves directly in later today. But first up, take care of business on our stadium court. Kevin Barnett alongside gold medalist Rich Lamborn. Pressure now squarely on Budinger and Evans. Chase knows a thing or two about pressure.
Yeah.
Said it was quite different, actually, to go and represent the entire country in an event, different than even an NBA environment.
Well, I was talking to their coach, Dan Wayner, a little bit on my way out of the stadium yesterday, and he made a good point. I thought that it's so very different, that experience, because you feel the weight of the world watching, of course, but also, even though largely it's the same teams you face week in and week out, either on the AVP or on the World Tour, this tournament in particular only happens once every 4 years. So if I don't have my best, I don't get another shot at it, maybe ever, but certainly not for another 4 years. So there is that interesting weight to it, as you said.
I always find it interesting when NBA players, NFL players talk about how long they have to wait for the next shot at the finals or the Super Bowl. Yeah, you might have to wait a whole 12 months.
Right.
How about 4 years?
Right.
How about 4 years of your life for, in some sports, 1 day?
Right.
1 lift, 1 sprint. In the case of volleyball athletes, 1 tournament. Shot over the top is good for Miles Partain out of Pacific Palisades. One of the top junior players himself, coming out of high school onto that UCLA career that was cut short by the opportunity to go to the Olympic Games, which he took. He's got that elbow. I asked Miles how that elbow's doing now that he has that brace on it. There was some question about that throughout the year. He's doing some special weight warm-ups this morning. He said it feels good at this point.
Beautiful cross-body turn, Chase Budinger.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes that just becomes part of the routine a little bit. If you've had a little bit of a bump and a bruise on an elbow or something, it makes me think of our former teammate Lloyd Ball, always wearing the calf sleeve. You know, that was kind of a nagging injury he had, and it just kind of became part of the uniform almost.
There's another block. Chase Budinger, that one feels good.
Cool to see the crowd getting into the monster block. It's fun when everyone does it.
Finally taking a little bit of a hint from the European audiences. It is a raucous affair at an international event, and it's getting that way at the AVP. Cut here, Evans. Over the top, it's another winner. So the aggression, switching sides, maybe once again, the momentum.
Well, certainly Chase and Miles have steadied out again. Their block and defense redialed.
Miles Evans has had his trouble against this team. He's hitting 286 right now, which is up in the last few, but it's down for this tournament. He's had an excellent tournament, hitting 525 coming in. Partain, fake worked, setting up his partner for an easy point, 17 apiece.
Yeah, he really, I mean, obviously he's a left-hander on the right side, so he's on his hitting arm at all times, but I mean, he sells that beautifully. Facing in full hitting position and able to just kind of side swoop that set over to his partner.
An almost impossible task for Chase Budinger up there to decide what to do. Benesh got a piece of it. Not enough.
Yeah, they looked like Partain stumbled maybe just a hair in the backcourt because it had a beat on it.
There is a sand monster over there somewhere. We've been unable to capture it despite setting traps overnight for the last 2 days.
It's like Dune. It just kind of moves around and surfaces every now and then.
Yep, it is a worm. Could be.
It is on the pier side of the court, though.
Someone might want to set a thumper to attract to the other side. 18-17. Here we're getting down to it. 3 to go if you're Budinger Evans to be up 1-0. Little tempo set has the side out for Benesh and Partain. They're looking for the ad here if they can manufacture a point.
That was executed beautifully, but man, I think the degree of difficulty on that play is so high with the sky-high pass setting into a tempo ball to Partain. Not easy to replicate.
A race to 3. Win by 2. Chase fakes it, instead shoots it across. And that looks like a little bit of an indoor play there.
It certainly did, and yeah, Benesh was just a hair late getting there. You can see him scurrying out. Evans with a nice crisp shot in the cut in the cross court.
19-18. That ball a little high and gone. 19 apiece. All right, do you go short serve again, or do you put it down the middle with some pace?
I'm surprised that we're not seeing as many middle serves from either of these teams as I would have expected, since they both like to go to the option. I think that's kind of your first line of defense.
Short it is.
You called it, Kev.
Andy got a piece of it. No, he did not. That ball inside of him, and it's 20-19. First set point opportunity for Benesh and Partain.
That is weird. It did seem like there was a secondary click that was maybe a touch, but pretty wide of Benesh, I think, at the end.
Set point. Top American pair. Too short.
Yeah, that's one I think you have to make. I like the tactic of going short, of course. But on set point and after scoring a real point on the hitting error, you have to put the ball on your opponents.
Let's play some overtime. That was kind of the theme yesterday. 20-20.
Seems appropriate for the start we got off to in this one as well, and the great comeback.
And the competition. Both teams representing America 1 week ago. Now meeting on home soil. Back-to-back missed serves. All right, now this one has to be in.
This one has to be in, yeah. That lets you off the hook a little bit if you're Benesh and Partain.
Set point number 2, Andy Benesh at the line. 6'9", one-time middle blocker, now top American big man. In the middle. Chase Budinger with the easy side out. We are blackjacks on the board.
You sneak that through the uprights there. That was a good shot right up the middle.
The Manhattan Beach Open. Manhattan Beach, how do you feel about this first
Just outside the left arm of Benesh.
Big step closed to his right that time for Chase Budinger.
Yeah, there was kind of that middle serve, though. It neutralized the option, let Andy set up at least, but a good side out swing from Chase.
Chase will crack it from the line. Right down the middle for you, Rich. That is well executed by Partain and Benesh.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of relief almost on the face of Partain. I thought he was going to hit that 100%. And he had to kind of lay out just to get some arms on that great serve. Good side out nonetheless.
Third set point. Too short once again. Back-to-back DeVitos.
Thought we were just calling out our favorite Oakland rapper.
Deuces wild, first set, men's semifinal. Our finals will be later today on Ion TV. And we've now had a host of missed serves. Now to try and close out this first set. Miles Evans will take a little break. Wipe off the glasses. We'll have Ion TV finals, men's and women's. We'll crown our champions and punch their ticket into the AVP League. They'll play from September to November. You guarantee yourself some prize money and some work. Haven't seen a block in a while, and that trend continues. That looks like a carbon copy of early in this match. Chase Budinger crossbody down the line.
Yeah, it's so interesting, you know, when a player's in rhythm, how smooth and easy that looks. And then if they're just ever so slightly off, sometimes it feels like you can't even think about getting it past the block of Benesh.
This time the option is taken and it's long. So the ad has been earned. And we'll have our first set point opportunity on the other side. Budinger Evans looking to go up 1-0.
Yeah, that's great instincts from Evans, too. That's not an easy ball to kind of slide right in the way of and get out of the way of as it goes long.
All right, chasing that last one to Andy. Do you keep going to that spot?
Yeah, that has been his best serve, I think. They're going that direction.
Sometimes best serve is better than locating it.
The set that nobody wants to win, Kevin.
We've had 4 set points go by. Option executed once again. To your point, Rich, with that short serve, once you're on it, provides a lot of options.
Yeah, that if it doesn't get as devastatingly short as those first few we saw from Partain, it becomes a pretty easy proposition for Budinger and Evans. That's a really nice turn away from the body to the corner.
Inside out has Budinger and Evans at their second set point. 25-24. Crowd starting to get behind Miles and Chase. And trickle through the cable for the victory. 1-0.
That is the thin margin between winning and losing right there, because that was threatening to be his third service mistake in a row into the net. Instead, it is victory in the form of the trickle ace.
Miles and Andy, pardon, Miles and Chase. Too many Mileses in this one. Budinger Evans break the drought. They had lost 5 straight sets to this pair. They come back with a victory in set 1 in overtime, and they now lead 1-0 with a trip to the finals at hand.
The AVP Manhattan Beach Open is brought to you by Rainstorm Clean Energy. Great flavor, 0 sugar.
Got a little magic, huh?
Yeah, baby, that is right. It is time. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be happier to be right here, right now. We're in Austin, Dallas, Texas, for San Diego. Get involved and have a reaction out here.
Olympic level battle to open our Sunday morning as both representatives from the Paris Olympic Games face off on Stadium Court with an opportunity to go to the finals at hand here in our men's semis. Stats in the first couple categories really standing out here, Rich Lamborn.
Yeah, a lot of blocks, particularly early from Budinger and Evans, but then man, I would like to see a little bit better game management as we get to the wire from both teams. A lot of service errors on set points both ways. Fortunately, if you're Budinger and Evans, you managed to get one to trickle over just in time to take that first set.
They had not won a set against Benesh and Partain in more than a year, and they haven't beaten them in well over a year. Coming in with a record of just 4-1, or 1-4 if you're on the losing side of that one for Budinger and Evans. So they are up 1-0. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn. As our second set is underway, Andy Benesh, the tallest man on court at 6'9", puts that ball away. And Miles Partain, his partner, will step back to serve. Miles Partain saying he wants to put together a database, a master class on volleyball and how to train for volleyball, how to execute volleyball systems. He wants to talk to all the top people on the planet, not just domestically, but worldwide, about the game, and archive all of that into a teaching database for anyone to access to learn the game.
Now, that would be fantastic, assuming you get participation from people worldwide. Tend to be a lot of people who like to guard their secrets, so to speak.
Right, you may have to get them after it's over.
Right, right.
Well, the proliferation of obviously online streaming video has really changed the game. It's progressing at such a faster rate than it used to. You don't need an editizer and a camera to have been in the stadium to watch a match.
That's very true.
Almost any match is available, so the systems and the options and the growth of the game accelerating. We see that on the beach side. We see it in this match here, the jump setting, the option play.
Yeah, nor do you have to fly to a Gstaad or a Hamburg or something to see the best teams in the world in action, right? You can open your laptop, like you said, and have a look at what the best teams in the world are doing.
But you should fly to Manhattan Beach and come see it in person. You should most definitely do that. Budinger going short. Left hand is not quite there for Partain.
That was some fantastic defense from both big men in that rally, and a slicey dicey from Chase to finish it off.
Tough middle serve, push set, and that dropped short by Partain.
And that great vision and control he has on his shots. If you've never tried to play him in no jump, I wish you luck if you ever get the opportunity. Get ready to run.
Well, a lot of service errors from both sides, particularly late in the last set. 7 for Budinger and Evans, now 4 for Benesh and Partain.
Yeah, those are a little bit of the inexcusable variety, right? When you're just trying to pop a float serve in, those are the ones. I remember your great coach Marv Dunphy on a conversation I was lucky enough to be a part of with him. He said Harlan Cohen.
Yep,
that's the name of the great Pepperdine coach.
One-time USA coach, one-time USA tyrant, as a matter of fact.
Well, his expression that Marv said was anywhere in Malibu but the net. Right? Meaning, I mean, if we 100% of balls in the net are service errors, we could serve it over, and even if it's long, maybe they take it, right?
Well, here's a long delivery from Andy Benesh, converted by Partain. That is a difficult swing coming overhead. That's when it's really fortunate to have a lefty on the right. Down the middle, trouble. And he got a touch. You can tell by the reaction of Chase Budinger that he heard it, felt it, saw it. Definitely his point.
Said it. We could hear it in our courtside mics. Got him. Good stuff.
All right, 5-4. Not the 7-1 open we saw from Budinger Evans, who needed extra time to come back and close out that first set. A lot of serves going Andy's way here. Somebody didn't like that.
Yeah. Either that or, you know, somebody caught a whiff of low tide or something out there.
We're not in Chicago yet, but this is definitely a deep dish.
Well, what's the spot in Chicago that I need to go?
Well, there's Gino's East if you want.
Okay.
Lou Malnati's.
Malnati's is the one I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah. We'll be in Chicago in 2 weeks' time. Final heritage event of the year before we embark on the league journey. A new day has dawned for the AVP. We're glad you're going to take the journey with us.
Tremendous pickup here. We see it. Watch him curl that ball up a little extra high for the big fella. Snap it down for the point.
I know both these teams were disappointed with their Olympic journey. And only with the passage of time, I think, do you gain the understanding or the perspective to know that just making it is quite an achievement. But I think both these teams could be back. The biggest question is Chase Budinger, who chips that one into the corner. He'll be 40 4 years from now, but that's not out of the question given the recent history of volleyball athletes.
No, not at all. I think the only question mark would be sort of his desire to grind it out for another 4 years. If that's there, certainly physically, he would be more than capable of that.
And he seems quite happy to be doing it. He and wife Jess, new family started, living in Hermosa Beach. Put in a good day of work, go jump in the water at the end of that. It's a good lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, that's always in play too, right? Is kind of the desire to have your kids be able to see you do something like participating in the Olympics.
Sure. Good read here.
Yeah.
Partain. A second good read by the other Miles. Evans good down the middle.
Now get the lead 7-6. Good play by Partain to keep that play going.
Yeah, just to finish up quickly on that, Kev, his son Beckham was in Paris, but you know, I mean, he's still quite young. I don't know, he's at the age where he can kind of process that whole experience. So 4 years from now, he no doubt would be. It's always exciting for dads, I think.
Yeah, and you need to do something with that competitive spirit, and you can dominate at the net with it sometimes. Chase Budinger having a nice blocking match.
Yeah, really good setup, body position, and then the great upgrade. Start in a good position and upgrade, Hugh McCutcheon used to tell us, Kevin.
Great Hugh McCutcheon. Of course, coached the USA men to gold in 2008, the USA women to silver in 2012. Budinger and Evans now 5 blocks. And you have to say Budinger and Evans. Evans picked up the first one. Chip shot off the reset is good, and Miles Evans nowhere near it.
Yeah, how about the savvy of that play from young Miles? Just knowing that set's tight. He doesn't have a swing on it, just kind of pushes it into the block, gets it back, resets the offense for his squad.
Back set, left side, winner off the top of Andy Benesh. 9-7, Budinger Evans. Already leading 1-9.
Yeah, our critic in the crowd, no problem with that set from Chase Budinger.
Goes back to the some guy comment on the AVP a few years ago. Budinger Evans hitting 500 on the match. 538 in this set. They have slowed down Miles Partain quite a bit, and that time still trying to serve Andy Benesh, who is 4 for 6 in this second set. Smoothly done right to the back line. Mentioned the offensive struggles that Miles Evans has had against this team. Well, that is no more in this one. He's hitting 533. That is right on par with his number coming in for the entire weekend.
I was going to say too, you know, I think that was a big part of their run to qualification for Paris, is the offensive range and variety from Miles Evans has gotten a huge upgrade. Used to be a little bit more pattern, but he's really able to open up the court pretty big these days.
Andy Benesh hits to the left of the I formation. It works in the NFL with a big fullback. Generally not effective on the beach.
The I formation?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your favorite fullback of all time?
Favorite Matt Suey.
That's Suey.
Chicago Bears. Little known, number 26. Blocked for Walter Payton.
Yeah, I think I might be an all-star guy.
Okay. It's the biggest shoulder pads ever. That one into the net and still alive. Not anymore. Into the grave by Chase Budinger.
Yeah, that was a tremendous read from Miles Partain in the backcourt just to keep that alive, but Chase having none of it. Miles Evans couldn't believe that came up.
Really high difficult pass. Oh, almost saved in the weirdest of ways.
Yeah,
that might be a new system.
Yeah, there you go. That was great heads-up play from Andy Benesh, but he couldn't quite execute it.
Technical timeout. 12-9, Budinger Evans. Just moments away, perhaps, from a berth into the finals here in Manhattan Beach. Both teams on that tough turnaround from Paris to the pier. Yeah, time for some smiles. Update on our other match happening outside the stadium. If you have an AVP 360 ticket, then you'll have the opportunity to see both matches on a Sunday morning. Theo Brunner, Trevor Crabb taking on Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander, defending champs. A look at that match, and we are into the third already. First taken by the younger brother, the older brother, and Brunner. 21-18, and now 21-19 the other direction. So they're playing to 15, and you can see how deep it is outside on the outer court for the Crab Boil.
Oh yeah, it's the battle of the Mileses on Stadium Court and the battle of the Crabses on the outer court. It's great action here on a Sunday morning.
Fans needed to show up early. They were lined up back at 8 a.m. trying to get into the stadium, trying to get their spot around the outer court so they can enjoy the best beach volleyball on the planet. That ball terminated. And we head back into our stadium location. Kevin Barnett, Rich Lamborn, Cameron Irwin. We're here to take you through Championship Sunday. The AVP League is coming up. We'll take you through that in the fall as well. Looking forward to being with you on Valley Live and Ion TV. That ball cannot be saved out of the technical, and the lead continues to grow. Now 4 for Budinger Evans.
Yeah, the last couple of plays, something I alluded to a little bit earlier, the way that Andy and Miles like to pass the ball extremely high to instigate their option. Oh, a little help from the top of the tape again from Miles Evans. It's been his best friend in this match thus far. But yeah, the height of that pass just adds a degree of difficulty if things aren't sort of perfectly dialed.
So Budinger and Evans been to 2 AVP finals, have not won an AVP title yet. They're looking for the 3rd time to have a shot at immortality here, to be on the pier.
I wonder if we can go deep into the archives and find out which, if any, teams won their first title at Manhattan Beach. First title of all time, and you get to immortalize it on the pier. Perpetuity.
This is a very special place to play. We talked to Miles Evans about Manhattan Beach and what it means.
You know, it's awesome to be back in the USA. Manhattan Beach is one of the best places to play volleyball. I'm super thankful to be playing with this guy. Yeah, we're just happy to be back. Paris was awesome. We were playing underneath the Eiffel Tower, and that was probably one of the best experiences, but this is probably second best, and we're here playing in front of our fans, family and friends.
In set 3.
What an order.
14-9 for Budinger and Evans here in set 2.
Family and friends in the stadium.
Yeah, in full force for this squad as well.
7 points yet to be scored here. Could be on the way to the final. Super high pass put away. And Rich, you do or don't like that high of a pass. That is how they tend to run the option a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's their system. So I like whatever you practice. I like whatever you're comfortable with. But I think that is unnecessarily difficult, and I'm not sure the upside is great enough to offset the potential downside.
That ball set over. We've seen just about every variation of the option now. As long as you set in the same direction you are facing, that is perfectly legal.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a judgment call, because do we see a little bit of shoulder turn in the air? No is the determination from our officials.
And I don't hear any complaining, at least not vociferous complaining from the other side. So the lead is 5. Benesh and Partain been off balance much of this match. Both players hitting in the 300 territory, while their opponents who are serving now are hitting over 500. So now they're just going option all the time off the Benesh reception.
This is kind of a switch up they made in the Olympic Games as well. Dropped that opening match to Cuba in pool play, and then really made a concerted effort to try and incorporate that more into their offense, I think, and then had some good victories going forward in group play.
That wasn't the only switch up they made. They fired their coach midway through and brought in Chris Fu, brought him in from the physical side to the pure volleyball side, as that one gets through the hands of Andy Benesh, who's been working with Miles Partain since he was 15 years old. So it's a familiar relationship, but now an expanded role for Chris Fu.
We would call that an unusual tactic.
(16-11) Budinger Evans. men's semifinal, the start of our day. Women's is up next. We'll have both of our championship matches on Ion TV coming up. Hope you'll join us on this beautiful end of summer Sunday morning. Picture perfect, no marine layer, nothing but sunshine and the best beach volleyball you can find.
A little bit of a different vibe than just a year ago when we were dealing with the monsoon out here on Stadium Court.
Hurricane Hillary.
Yeah.
Out on the outer court, it's 8-5. Brunner and Crab with the lead. Joust won by the bigger man. It's fun to be 6'6", even more fun to be 6'9". Budinger checks down and goes long. So, now here we go. 16-14. 2-point lead, has a timeout called. A little bit of pressure. We saw the momentum reverse a few times. If you're Budinger and Evans, what do you got to get back to right now that's going to hold on to at least 2, if not extend to the end of this set and the end of this match?
I think you can't miss any more serves.
Okay.
You just make the other team play. We're scoring defensively. We're putting pressure on them from the end line. And then we just got to stay aggressive in our offensive mindset.
Just don't go straight in here.
Down on court one, it's now 8-5. Theo and Trevor have got a 4-1 run in set number 3. Out on court number 1. You can follow along with the
Now,
score.
a lot of words in the other tent. There's definite communication happening on the other side. Quiet back and forth between that partnership. Budinger and Evans, second place finish, going back on the AVP tour in Miami. And again in Atlanta. Will they go to a championship match again? 3 aces has helped. 9 service errors has not. Always a delicate balance there. 16-14, Benesh and Partain with the momentum for the moment. Can Partain get a couple more defensive reads? No, not this time. It's middle for the winner from Evans.
That's a really nice swing from Evans, kind of sliding out to his right. See that split in the difference defensively.
That ball is long. Evans lays off another one, and it results in a 4-point advantage.
Yeah, that's just lots of repetition and good instincts from Evans. When the ball's within your reach and it's that close, it's hard to lay off it sometimes. He does a nice job.
That one right through Chase. Boy, they are on the cusp of going to the final after being nearly eliminated in the contenders bracket back on Friday afternoon. Went 17-15, in fact fought off match balls during that match against Kolinsky and Carvalhais. Evans this time in the middle. Right through the defense. It's 19-15. 2 away.
And again, that kind of middle deep swing. Good stuff from Miles Evans.
In their 8th match of the weekend. Needing just 2 more points to play 9 and play for a title, along with a berth into the league. Just why. Continuing to be aggressive from the service line. 19-16, they have some room to do so.
That is something I'd like to see them shore up, though, if they end up victorious and in the finals. A 2-to-1 kind of error to ace ratio is something you can deal with, I think, but 3-to-1 gets a little excessive.
Brunner and Crab with a 3-point lead, 11-8 in that 3rd set. Check that, make it just 12 as it pops up on the scoreboard. A 4-point lead. Partain with an opportunity. Taken and converted. 1917. Boy, they got to make a move. It has to be now.
Now is the time, Kevin, because you start to get to match point for your opponent, and then there's zero wiggle room, of course.
Especially when your opponent's hitting 500 on the match. Push set, right side, and closed down. Welcome to the phone booth.
Yeah, that was a nice switch tactically from Benesh and Partain. You can see Andy Benesh slide more into that seam that Miles Evans has been utilizing and just close it down. Big fella.
The late Bill Walton inhabiting Rich Lamborn for just a moment. 1918. Partain continues to serve. Is the rally real? Deep serve on Evans. He's well off. Just through Andy Benesh. 20-18. We're at match ball.
Andy can't believe that. He was in the perfect position and his arms just kind of slid off the net.
Manhattan Beach, we are on our feet. Get on your feet, everybody, for match point.
To go to their third final on the AVP. Not yet.
19-21.
Second match ball. Now it is an absolute must-have. Benesh and Partain have to convert. Andy Benesh will serve and block.
19-17, and now a 1-point lead with 1 to go. Match point number 2.
Crowd on their feet. Match point on both sides. AVP 360 spinning. Ball's tight. Benesh puts it down. We're tied.
Are you not entertained, Kevin Barnett, on a Sunday morning?
We got extra time in the first. We'll get in the second. You're welcome, Southern California.
Andy Benesh, and it is 20-20.
Budinger, this time right side. Tracked again. Cut the other way cleanly. We'll have our second. Check that third match ball.
Is it another trickler? We'll have to wait and see.
Theo Brunner, Trevor Crabb are already in. Who will join them in the men's final? That is the question. The other match has concluded. Everyone rushing to the stadium where we have blackjacks on the board.
In neither of these sets did we think we were going to get into extra innings. 7-1 start for Budinger Evans. Andy and Miles climb all the way back.
This was match point outside. The crab boil is over. And it is the multiple-time Manhattan Beach champion going to another final, Trevor Crabb. This time with Theo Brunner. Andy Benesh stuffs another. Oh, now it's set point the other direction. They fought off 3 match balls. It has been the monster block of Andy Benesh, the Palos Verdes native, on home sand.
Again, a great shift in tactics from Andy Benesh, kind of diving out to that line previously, stays in that seam, gets another jetty.
Trying to go to a third. Evans v. Benesh. Nick Lucena type drop to the line. Deuces wild in the second.
That is a good shot in a tough moment from a pressure standpoint.
Budinger way long. Set point number 2.
That's back to back from Budinger and Evans. Critical juncture.
23-22. Serve in the middle. This will be Budinger. Little off balance. And we're going 3.
Kevin Barnett at 19-16 up. It looked like a certainty we were going to see Evans and Budinger in the finals. Now we get extra volleyball and my first third setter of the weekend.
Finally, Rich Lamborn is going to do some work. You are the beneficiary of this blocking performance by Andy Benesh, who ruled the net late and powered his team to a 24-22 second set victory, fighting off 3 match points to force a third set. So what do you take, side or serve? Not a lot of wind right now. Rich Lamborn, what would you want heading into a third?
Yeah, I think you take whichever side you're comfortable on and try and start off with a 1 next to your name on the scoreboard as quickly as possible.
In set number 2, Andy Benesh with 3 stuff blocks, most of them late, cutting into that hitting percentage. Remember, they were over 500 when it appeared that it was going to get closed out by Budinger and Evans. Now they are down to 418 because the man on the right side of your screen is tall and played it. Take a look at our bracket here. The semifinal on the other side already over. Brunner and Trevor Crabb defeat Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander. Our defending champs are out. Someone's name will go on the pier, not for a second time in a row, but new. Now look at the match point, what it was. This is Trevor Crabb receiving on the right, left of your screen, and terminating through the block of Taylor Sander. So whoever gets to 15, or hey, maybe more, win by 2 here in the third set, is going to face off with Trevor Crabb and Theo Brunner.
Yeah, now in his 5th consecutive Manhattan Beach Open final. Yeah, Trevor Crabb.
The Instagram frenemies and partnership. Here we go. We're underway in the third. Kevin Barnett, Rich Lamborn. Cut shot from Budinger and Evans starts us off. Boy, it seemed like it was in hand. Trip to the finals secured, and now it isn't. So how do you recover?
Yeah, I mean, you got to reset. Obviously, I don't know how each individual player likes to go about accomplishing that.
Well, the crowd didn't like that set. It was more than just that one woman. And now we're going to have some complaining. Just, it appeared for a second.
This, in my opinion, this is something you can't get too involved in. If you're Budinger and Evans is chirping at the ref and so forth, kind of being a little overly demonstrative emotionally. It's frustrating that you let that second set get away, but you got to get back on task.
A little bit off balance, but again, the cut shot is good. Yeah, I'm definitely in favor of leaving the refs alone in this set. My record would not suggest so, but at this advanced age, I would say that's a good idea.
I think you and I are both in a similar category where post-playing career, we have a lot more zen to our approach.
Yeah. Good to have wisdom now. Would have been good earlier.
Right.
Big high scoop. Benesh, not much of an option there, and he hits it long. I don't know what else he would have done with that other than hit it. 3-1 the opener for Budinger Evans. Boy, this gets to 4-1. I think you call an early TO.
Yeah, that's been the leak in their game, though, on the side of Benesh and Partain, is that high pass that gets away from them.
Andy this time sets it, and his partner goes outside the block.
And that's just how good that swing was, because that's the defense that Budinger and Evans set up. Evans waiting there on the line for that hit, but just a little too angular.
So Trevor Crabb has punched his ticket to the final, and maybe he will put his name on the pier for a 4th time. What an era for Trevor Crabb. Forever Trevor. That's what we're living in. Back set, Budinger. Smoothly done, right on the line. Two-point lead, but it certainly doesn't feel safe after the runs we've had throughout this match and including the end of the second set.
Certainly not. 19-16 seemed like a foregone conclusion, and Partain and Benesh had other ideas.
Benesh down the line. Quick reactions for Budinger. Speaking of quick reactions, a nice turn at the top by Miles Partain.
Yeah, that was tremendous reaction time for Budinger, turning and finding that ball. Guy we both played with, Ryan Millar, I felt like was always one of the best at doing that, just turning and finding those balls that are shooting right at his legs as a middle blocker.
Partain all over that one. Not the best offensive opportunity, but he converts it anyway. Benesh and Partain tie us at 4.
The advantage to being that left-hander on the right side is that inside set you can still go and attack with some pace, as we see from young Partain.
Partain, another good read, this time with the right hand. An odd blocking move from Andy Benesh. Had to do something. He's kind of in no man's land there.
Yeah, that's the rarely tried shoulders perpendicular to the net block.
I don't think that one's going to be in the master class.
That is going to skip the master class, that particular move.
(5-4) race to 15, win by 2. We've gone overtime in both the first 2 sets. 26-24 Budinger Evans. It looked as though they were going to take it in 2, but the blocking of Andy Benesh showed up. And a nice chip there by his partner off the block of Chase Budinger.
Yeah, Partain seems like he's in a little bit of a better offensive rhythm, which, if it continues, can be a little bit troublesome for Evans and Budinger. He's so difficult to contend with. I think the clanging you're hearing, Kevin, is going on inside my head.
It's not DJ Rouchet. Of course, the DJ that sets the tone here when you come to the AVP party. AVP Heritage Series is an incredible opportunity for you to meet the athletes, interact with them, enjoy other volleyball enthusiasts and the best players on the planet. And why wouldn't you want to do it on a sunny Sunday at the beach? Cut shot into the net. They've gotten a reward out of that service aggression, but they've also paid a bit of a price. Service errors piling up on the side of Budinger and Evans. Now with 12.
Yeah, as we know, Kevin, as well, all statistics not created equal. The timing of some of those service errors really what has ended up hurting them a little bit.
100%. Here's some aggression paying off. Free ball over and turned into the corner. Andy Benesh doing the majority of the work there. 7-6. Benesh and Partain on top for the first time.
And both big men really liking that cross body swing. Budinger and Benesh both. Andy's showing it off beautifully.
Middle attack. Oh, drop down. Redirected by Evans.
Sneaky little line slither.
Budinger gone to the float. He was jumping early. Here, running at the net, trying to respond to the late offense. 8-7.
It was a great serve, but a good pass from Andy Benesh put Partain in a nice position to kind of throw that option juke.
It looked as though Chase Budinger served that ball. It was tough. He couldn't decide if that was going to be a good offensive opportunity or not for the other side.
Well, when you're chasing up to the net, no pun intended, you have to kind of do what he did there. It looked as though Miles Partain was going to hit, so he just kind of holds his ground, gets ready to play a little defense. But when he throws that setup there, he does get stuck in no man's land.
Another short serve. Oh, Benesh, was he over? No, ball is ruled to be on top of the cable, and anyone's opportunity to contact it. Andy Benesh is going to listen here.
On Miles and Chase's side. Interference and points to Miles and Chase.
Tony Chan having none of it. Our R1.
9-7.
You'll get a good look at it here.
All that has to be on top is a sliver, and I understand Miles' point, but ultimately that's kind of a fruitless argument that if Andy Benesh hadn't touched it, it would have ended up in his lap. That is true, but while it's still on top of the tape, Andy Benesh is well within his rights to go after it.
All right, they deal with it by siding out, and the lead is just 1 for Benesh and Partain. They're trying to hang on to that 2-point advantage as we get close to the 15-point end of this set, perhaps. The ball jammed over through, no touch. So 3 contacts here, dug by Partain and put over by Benesh for the winner. They hold the 2-point lead.
Yeah, tremendous read from Miles Partain in the backcourt to keep that play alive. After the good dig from Evans as well.
I remember back to that first set. It was the reads of Miles Partain that brought them back from that 7-1 deficit. Made a number of exceptional reads and easy plays defensively. Here's a bad pass. Patient offense. Partain. Dug over.
Oh my goodness. That would have lit this place on fire, Kevin, had that hit the back line.
6 inches from glory.
I like the discretion from Andy Benesh to not give Evans hands to swing at there. Just let his partner dig. Budinger almost with the crowd eruption.
Instead, it's timeout, 11-8 lead for this American pair. Battle of the Olympians. Of course, it had to go overtime in the sets. Of course, it had to go 3 sets. The margins continue to shrink worldwide and on the AVP. This pair lost their first set of the tournament in set number 1, 26-24. Looked like they were going down in straight sets, only to have the rally carry the day. And these guys have had quite a tough journey. Nearly out of the tournament on Friday, all the way to a semi, on the cusp of punching a ticket to the final, and now trailing by 3.
Yeah, let's see if they've got a Benesh and Partain-esque comeback in them.
Side out has to be first. A lot of short serving from Benesh and Partain. Andy Benesh not as much short serving. Miles has been deploying that tactic as we look at the service and block story. A lot of errors.
Yeah, they've climbed up over the 4-1 threshold and errors to aces.
Benesh into the corner, it's a winner. Asking for the home crowd to rain down, and they respond 12-8.
Yeah, not typically a big crowd interaction guy, Andy Benesh, but feeling it on a Sunday morning here in Manhattan Beach, and why not? Look at that thing tucked into the corner.
Closing the door on the coffin corner and maybe putting this match to its death. Pushed outside, cut back the other way. A lot of work to do. It is Budinger and Evans who must rally now. Very similar to the 1916 lead that Budinger and Evans had in the second. Middle serve, and that ball easily put away by Partain. But they look comfortable now. They look rejuvenated.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you can see how well they've kind of sold the feint early on in this match, or up until this point in this match, because Chase not even biting on that jump from Partain.
Winner to the championship. Loser finishes third. And wonders what could have been. Blocked there, covered. Miles Partain has put away a ton of off balls. He has one more to go. 14-9. We are at a match point.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. He seemed as though he was really starting to feel and find his groove.
Fourth match point, but first for Benesh and Partain. It'll take at least 2. 14-10. Second match ball. Miles Evans will serve. His partner gives the signal. They need to play some defense here. And instead, it's into the net and it's over. 15-10 the final. It did not take extra time, but it did take the maximum number of sets.
Yeah, and heartbreak for Budinger and Evans. They were right on the cusp, of course, but great intestinal fortitude shown by the young Miles Partain. Andy Benesh coming all the way back. 19-16 down in the second. They climb all the way back, find their groove and crush it.
So young Miles wanting to write about the sport of beach volleyball. Maybe he put a new chapter in his master class, how to come back and make the final. So our final is set. It will be Benesh and Partain, and they will be taking on Brunner and Crab. That's Trevor Crab. We're looking forward to the men. The women in the semis are up now.